My client was able to double her revenue without doubling her marketing efforts. I took her through the same framework that I take all my clients through. This framework has allowed many of my clients to double their revenue, 5x their rates, sign on large six-figure clients, get booked out to speak on stages, and attract premium opportunities like speaking gigs and writing books. Using this framework, we analyzed her current data and what was working, what wasn't working, just to see what the situation was like, what we were working with. We identified where her strengths were and what was actually working. Using this information, we created a custom strategy that allowed her to increase her visibility and her sales. And she didn't have to double or triple her marketing efforts to make that happen. For this client specifically, there are 3 key areas that we really worked on to help her elevate her brand and better connect with her audience to increase her visibility and to make people reach out to her, increasing her sales. So we really identified her buyer types and what type of content attracted and converted them. We really looked at the language she was using and whether or not that aligned with her audience. We identified which type of messaging really connected with her audience the most and activated them to buy. And we really leaned into that type of language. And this includes her brand voice, her brand persona, how she was positioning herself, and whether or not that aligned with the results that she was getting, and whether or not that attracted her audience. She was blending in. She didn't really stand out. And so we really worked on identifying her differentiators to help her stand out from all the other coaches in the space. And lastly, she was flinging spaghetti at the wall. She didn't have a true North Star. She didn't really know what she was doing with her business. She just knew she wanted to get clients. And we really worked on creating her North Star, her bigger brand purpose. So she always had direction. She knew what she was working towards. This allowed her to really focus her efforts, and she ended up doubling her revenue. So by working together, she ended up really understanding who her audience was, how to talk to them, and what type of content best resonated with them and made them want to follow her, engage with her, and ultimately reach out to work with her. She was closing more sales without having to do more work. She was much more strategic about her marketing efforts. She didn't have to go live daily. She didn't have to send out 1,000 emails. She didn't have to post on 16 different platforms 15 times a day. She didn't have to hustle. She didn't have to work harder. She really only had to do intentional, focused moves, no hustling. She was able to effortlessly attract premium clients. She made twice as much money with a sense of peace and calm. And you can do this as well. You really need to identify what works for your business and your audience. Whatever is working for someone else may not work for you. You maybe do need to go live every day, but you also don't need to do other marketing activities, and that's just your main marketing activity. It just really depends on what works best for your audience. You need to know how to read your data and how to implement that data to work for you. Make sure and follow for more tips on building your brand authority and standing out in a crowded market so you attract more premium perfect fit prospects.